What up, gang? Carolina Jackpot time coming at you on Tuesday evening. Time to get some college football talk. If you're new around here, consider staying true around here. Click the thumbs up on this video if you enjoy the content, and subscribe to the Carolina Jackpot channel. Click the notifications so that you get all the good stuff when it drops. Okay, we're going to talk about a ranking of SEC quarterbacks going into next season. This was dropped a couple of days ago by the Twitter account College Football Report over at CFB REP. I'm going to link it down in the description box below. I'm also kind of using that as a screenshot here. And we're going to kind of go through this list, rattle it off. I'm going to tell you what I agree with, what I don't agree with. And then down in the comment section below, you can tell me what you agree with and what you don't agree with. But apparently whoever runs this site is a knower of ball. He has our quarterback, University of South Carolina North Sellers, ranked at number 16. He is last as far as quarterbacks go going into next season, according to CFB Report. Now, let's go through this list. I'm going to tell you what I do and I don't agree with. And I've got some facts here that will back this stuff up. Number one, we've got Carson Beck from Georgia. Not really a surprise. Number two is Quinn Ewers. Number three, Jalen Milroe from Alabama. Number four, Jackson Dart from Ole Miss. Number five, Brady Cook from Mizzou. Number six, Connor Wegman, Texas A&M. Number seven, Nico from Tennessee. Number eight, Graham Mertz, Florida. Number nine, Jackson Arnold from Oklahoma. Number 10, Garrett Nussmeier. LSU, number 11, Diego Pavia. Vanderbilt, number 12, Brock Vandergrift from Kentucky. 13, Peyton Thorne from Auburn. Number 14, Taylon Green of Arkansas. Number 15, Blake Shapen from Mississippi State. And, of course, the aforementioned Lenora Sellers bringing up the caboose of this here choo-choo train at number 16. All right, number one, number two. Yeah, you know, I might interchange those two, Quinn Ewers and Carson Beck. One could probably argue that Quinn Ewers has inherently, that's not a word, inherently more talent as a quarterback than what Carson Beck does. Last year's stats, Beck, 24 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 168 passer rating, 3,941 yards against a pretty weak schedule. Quinn Ewers, I had put a note here that he'd played one more game. He didn't. Georgia was in a bowl game against Florida State. Texas went to the playoffs, and they lost. Quinn Ewers took his quarterback rating up from 133 in 2022 to 159 last year. 3,479 yards, up 1,000 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. I can probably take putting Beck there ahead of Quinn Ewers when you kind of look at it. Beck had a little bit better numbers, I guess, and Ewers, like I said, probably just a little bit more talented, and he also has a more talented wide receiver core around him than what Carson Beck did. So I don't guess I have a problem with that. Jalen Milroe in third. He completed 66% of his passes last year, 2,834 yards, 23 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He had a 172 passer rating. What puts him in that third spot is 12 touchdowns on the ground, 531 yards rushing. We look here next. We got Jackson Dart from Ole Miss. Apparently, this is a guy who really knows how to command an SEC offense. According to one Juice Wells, 2,834 yards through the air last year. He completed 66% of his passes, 23 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Wait a minute. I'm reading you Jalen Milroe's stats. Sorry. Scratch that. 3,364 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 5 picks. 162 passer rating, and he completed 65% of his passes. He also can run around, scored 8 touchdowns on the ground, and 391 yards rushing. Now, he is just ahead of Brady Cook from Mizzou, 3,317 yards, 21 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 157 passer rating. He had 319 yards rushing and 8 touchdowns. Pretty similar stats there between the two of those. I don't know. Brady Cook has Luther Burden playing with him. And so, one would think that he would probably have more passing yards because of that. Luther Burden was injured last year. They're basically a toss-up. I don't have a problem if you want to put Brady Cook at 4 and then put Jackson Dart down at 5. I think Dart probably can run around a little bit better than what Brady Cook can, but I also don't have a problem with the way it's ranked right now. This is one that I don't understand. This is mind-boggling me. This next little scenario right here. Connor Wegman for Texas A&M is ranked number 6. Okay, this guy threw for 979 yards last year, 8 touchdowns and 2 picks. He's at a 157 passer rating. The year before, 8 touchdowns, no picks, 132 passer ratings. That's 16 touchdowns, 2 picks, and he's got 2 touchdowns rushing. But why? Why is what I'm saying. These are not eye-popping stats. Everybody says, well, Carolina jackpot when he's not hurt. I mean, that's just like take some of these true freshmen and rank these guys that you don't really know what he can do. So I don't agree with that ranking. This guy is too high. No, he shouldn't be in the bottom. He should be in the middle somewhere. He has a heck of a lot of potential. He has pretty good stats for the amount of time he's played, but he hasn't played. Now, it's not necessarily his fault that he got injured, but it is what it is. He just does not have the numbers to back that up. Nico's in at number 7. To be surprised with you, I'm surprised they've got him this low. Everybody in the world is hyping this guy up to the absolute moon. I can get it. He was the number 1 rated player out of high school last year. 28 out of 45. He threw for 2 touchdowns. Scored 3 touchdowns on the ground. I think they were all against Iowa in the, the Outback Bowl. So, I mean, he has a huge upside. He's probably, next year when this list comes out, he's probably going to be top 3 playing in that Josh Heupel offense. But what I don't get, both of these guys are ranked above Graham Mertz for Florida. Now, I don't particularly like Graham Mertz because he beat my Gamecocks, but, I mean, I'll give the guy his due. I'll give him his credit. I'm old school, I say that. Give him his credit. I don't say, give him his flowers. I hate that saying. If I'd never heard that saying again the rest of my life, it'd be too damn soon. 73% of passes completed, 20 touchdowns, 3 picks. He had a 157 passer rating. Really, really low rushing yards, though. And just, I think, a perceived notion of what he was due to a couple of years not playing real well at Wisconsin may have hampered him a little bit there in this ranking, which is not fair. This should be based on what he did last year going into this year. It shouldn't be based on what he did at another school. Wisconsin had a wet fart offense and couldn't move the ball. At least he was moving the ball at Florida to some degree. I think that he's ranked too low. Just based on these returning stats, I'd have him ranked number 6. I'd probably have Nico still at number 7 because you really can't take him down much further than that, given the hype and the trajectory there. And Connor Wegman should probably be there in that 8 spot, right in the very middle. Not too high because of the fact that he hasn't shown a lot, but not too low because of the fact that we know he can do great things when he's not injured, which is not that often, unfortunately. Jackson Arnold from Oklahoma comes in next. Last year, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 64% of his passes, 142 passer rating. He did rush for 116 yards and 1 touchdown. Okay. Those aren't eye-popping stats. That's pretty bad touchdown-interception ratio. It is what it is. I mean, I don't care if he's a true freshman and he's young. You got a lot of true freshmen coming in playing some really quality time right now. Garrett Nussmeier from LSU. It seems like this guy's been around 100 years. He's been around 11 touchdowns and 7 interceptions for his career. 1,700 yards through the air, very little rushing to speak of, 140 passer rating. Not real impressive, is it? It's not. Him or Jackson Arnold, neither one of these guys, I think, really, just based on stats alone, and we're not talking about what team they play for, just based off stats alone, why are they ranked ahead of the guy who they are just ahead of, Diego Pavia? Over 2 years at New Mexico State, which, yeah, it's a group of 5 school, and he had a really, really good career there under a really good coach there in Jerry Kill. 26 touchdowns and 9 interceptions last year. Kind of a high touchdown, or kind of a high touchdown to interception ratio. You'd want it a little bit better than that. 147 passer rating. 60% of his passes, which is still almost as good as Jackson Arnold, right? 2,973 yards, but he rushed for almost 1,000 yards, right? 920 yards on the ground and 7 touchdowns. That's huge. Yeah, I think this guy deserves to be a little bit higher on this list. Brock Vandergriff comes in at number 12. They've got him with 2 touchdowns, no interceptions at Georgia. Very little stats to speak of. He played behind Stetson Bennett most of his, 2 of his years there, and then last year, of course, Carson Beck beat him out for the starting job, and he saw a little bit of action, but not very much. I don't know. He's ranked ahead of Peyton Thorne from Auburn, who had 16 touchdowns versus 10 interceptions last year, 1,755 yards, a 129 passer rating, which is not good. 61% of his passes were complete. He did have 515 yards rushing, which is good, and 3 touchdowns. But he kind of regressed from what he had done at Michigan State under an offensive-minded head coach in Hugh Freeze. Now, I know they had some injury issues there. I know they had some depth issues, but those are not great numbers. Does Brock Vandergriff, though, deserve to be ahead of him based on the fact that he hasn't played any, hardly? I don't know. I mean, should Peyton Thorne be 3 spots behind Garrett Nussmeier, who's done basically nothing, or Jackson Arnold, who has done absolutely nothing? I don't know. We got Taylon Green for Arkansas, who's next. This guy, 11 touchdowns, 9 interceptions last year, 135 passer rating, 57% of his passes. Now, he did rush for 436 and 9 touchdowns. That was at Boise State in kind of a run-heavy type offense. I don't really guess I have a problem with this ranking. This is an unknown. We don't know a lot about him. And then Blake Shapen. This is a guy who transferred in from Baylor. He's kind of been hurt some through his career, and he's shown some flashes himself. 2,188 yards last year, 13 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. 4 rushing touchdowns last year. I can't say how many yards that was. I smudged it. But, I mean, why is he so far below Connor Wegman, right, who, hasn't done a lot? And then Lenore Sellers, of course, comes in at number 16. Lenore last year was 4-4 throwing the ball, threw 2 touchdown passes, and he ran for another. I'm telling you, this guy's underrated. According just off this list, he's going to have a better season than what they're giving him credit for. And look, I'm not taking a whole hell of a lot of offense to this. I mean, this is from a national college football account here that's got 89,000 followers over on Twitter. That's not shit. So This same crew also ranked the ACC quarterbacks, and they ranked Kalen Drones from Virginia Tech as the number one quarterback in the ACC, ahead of Cam Ward from Miami, who transferred in from Washington State. So, yeah, they know their ball over there at College Football Report. Yeah, Lenoris, he hasn't shown them a whole heck of a lot yet. But I don't think that it's that fair to rank him like 5 spots behind a Brock. Say they don't agree with it either. They're all up in arms about it. I don't think it's that fair to rank him that far behind a Brock Vandergrift, who's done basically nothing his entire career. That's not his fault. He was sitting on the bench behind some pretty good players. To have him ranked that far behind a Jackson Arnold, who threw 3 interceptions last year versus 4 touchdowns, when Lenoris threw 2 touchdowns on 4 passes. Maybe it was who he threw them against. Those touchdown passes came against Furman. He ran his touchdown against Vanderbilt. But this guy's got a unique skill set. He's got a KJ Jefferson type body. He's faster than KJ Jefferson. I think he's got a more accurate arm as well. And it remains to be seen just how good he'll be in 2024. But this guy is going to be the real deal. I expect him to beat Robbie Ashford, the transfer from Auburn, out pretty solidly for that starting quarterback position at South Carolina. I mean, is he as talented inherently as a quarterback as like a Nico? No, probably not. I mean, and then he may not be as inherently talented as this Jackson Arnold guy, but he can do it with his legs as well as through the air. Yeah, I know Nico ran 3 touchdowns. That's what they were like, 3 or 4 yard touchdown runs. And I'm not trying to disparage the guy here, but I mean, to say he's like a legit dual threat quarterback is silly. So let me know what you think down in the comment section below on this list from the College Football Report. And I will see you guys later on. I appreciate you watching. By the way, if you don't mind, go subscribe, or don't subscribe, go follow Carolina Jackpot over on TikTok. You don't stop. That's where we do all the food reviews. We have a lot of good stuff over there. Getting a heck of a lot of engagement over there. I'd like to get all of my YouTube subscribers to follow Carolina Jackpot on TikTok, and get all the TikTokers to come over here and subscribe to the Carolina Jackpot channel and the Rockabilly 864 channel, which I'll also put down in the description box below. You remember all that? Can you handle all that? Good. I'll see you guys later. Peace. I'm out of here. Still, go Gamecocks. Go North Sellers. Woo!